our first storyteller of the afternoon is Ron Robinson. He teaches history and African American studies in Washington, D.C., so I'm sure that's very intense. He is developing a solo show about his experience being biracial and growing up in the 1960s. Ron Robinson.
Thank you. It was August 28th, 1963. That was the March on Washington, and Dr. Martin Luther King gave his very famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Now, my father was a black man from Lynchburg, Virginia. My mother, white woman from Berlin, Germany. And my older brother and I were watching this on television. I was 7 years old at the time. And one of the lines that I always remembered was, he said, "I have a dream that little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls." And in my little mind, I thought to myself, I could hold my own hand because I'm both black and white. Wow, this is great. Now, at that time, my father was a truck driver. He drove for Birdseye Frozen Food. And I used to go with him all the time. And it would be a frozen food in the back, hot summer, my father sweating his ass off. He'd be driving the truck, shifting those gears, and I'd be sitting next to him holding the clipboard, and we'd go to little cities like Nutley and Irving, New Jersey, and Edison, whatever, delivering cod and frozen spinach and all of this stuff to Mr. Giordano's and eat there. And it was beautiful, hanging out with your dad. And you're learning the ropes. What is it like being a man, And my father was a real man. He was 6'2", he was strong, striking guy, but this was hard blue-collar work. Well, just a week or so after King gave his speech, I was in the second grade, 7 years old, at Our Lady of Victory's grammar school, Jersey City. And our family integrated this Catholic parish, and my brother and I integrated the schools. And I remember this is where it really set in, something about this black and white business. I tapped little Michelle Concord on the shoulder. It was the first day of school. And I just want to ask her a question, small talk. I said, "You know what time lunch is?" And she turned around as if to say, "Oh, it's 11:30, and turned back around. And she didn't say that. She turned around and she looked at me. She says, "I can't talk to you because my father said I can't talk to Negroes." Then she turned around like she just told me what time lunch was. And then nothing. So I had this all of a sudden, I'm in shock. And I started to experience this, you're a Negro, you're colored, you're different, you're lower than us kind of vibe. And it's like, I'm a kid, I don't know how to make sense out of that, So I'm busy trying to figure out my own, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just a little boy, really. I'm black and I'm white, I'm this. So I got to learn a pecking order. And during that time, something also very interesting happened. A civil rights bill was passed in '64. And my father he was in the first class of black drivers hired by Greyhound. Now, all of a sudden, my father wasn't sweating his ass off with a rag around his head, doing hard physical labor. He had this beautiful gray hat with this badge on it, and a Greyhound bus, and a dog, and a black visor, and a gray shirt that my mother put ironed three pleats in the back of, and the gray pants with the blue stripe, and the jacket, and all of this. And he was now a professional. And back when I was growing up, everybody was blue collar. I mean, it was in the elementary school I went, there was only one kid who had a father who was a lawyer, and somebody else a doctor. Everybody else was blue collar, whatever it was, or some little store shit or whatever. So, my dad, his first year driving, I was now in the third grade. He said, "Why don't you come, let's go on a trip." And I was so fucking excited because my brother's 3 years older than me, and he always got to do everything first, but he was playing football, so he couldn't make it, so I got to go. I got to be the first kid now. So back then, there was this bus, this famous Greyhound bus. Nobody else had this bus instead of Greyhound. Do you remember this? It was called a double-decker Super Scenic Cruiser. You see this? You see how it is? So there's the downstairs and the upstairs. We went to Boston. I sat upstairs. That's me, that little stick figure in there. That's my dad, okay? Now, you'll notice there's a car that he's right up on. I'm going to tell you a little story about that. So now you know what that bus looks like. So my dad, here he is all decked out, right? Attaché case, the whole routine. And I'm like, man, my dad is something. And, you know, we all get on the bus. I take my seat upstairs, and I can't see him because he's on the other side of, you know, downstairs, right? I'm sitting there all proud. And then I hear, you know, like a mic kind of thing. He says, may I have your attention, please? My name is James Robinson, badge number 5905. And this is the 12 o'clock express bus from New York to Boston. I will be your driver the entire way. And he's like, I'm hearing this voice, I'm saying, that's my dad. And it's like, you know, I mean, it's like there's a voice of authority, like, you know, and it's like all of a sudden, you know, I felt like the announcer was just saying, and now onto the field comes the Robinsons, like Yankee Stadium, like we're on the fucking majors now. It's the big leagues. Not a, you know, a bird's eye frozen food truck. So now it's like, this is great. Now the whole trip, this is about a 4-hour trip, right? I'm hearing this sound. You know, it's like this vague sound, right? I don't know what it was. But I heard it the whole way. On the way back, we didn't have the double decker, we had the regular bus. So I'm sitting behind him, and I'm hearing this really loud song. And there's this whole, I can't figure out what it is. My father's driving the bus like this, you know? No expression on his face. And he's doing all this. I said, what is this sound, Dad? You know, it's like a sound. I'm looking, there's no trucks. Well, he said, that's the air horn. I said, well, where is it? It's just on the floor. So I hit it with my heel. And the other is I'm putting the high beams on. I'm getting people to know, here I come. You better get out of the way or I'm going to start putting the air horn on. So I was like, wow. So this black man, here he is driving 1964-5, right? You know, back in the days, just getting people out of the way the whole fucking trip. It could have been from New York to Montreal, didn't make a difference. He'd get up. You don't get out of the way with that air horn. Here he is. They're looking in there. You can see them looking in the river. Little kids holding on in the back seat. Oh my God. He's going like this. He's telling them to get out of the way. And so the power in that was like fucking unbelievable. So I became a Greyhound bus when I was walking around the school, because that's how I felt my power. Everywhere I was going, I was like walking as fast as I can. You know, and this is the way I was living my life, because I became my father, and I became a Greyhound bus. Because I was in that gray area, like my dad, trying to figure out between black and white, how do we be powerful? How do we express our freedom? And my father, God bless my father, thank God he's still alive, he gave me something that was so special because I didn't have anything to have to confront what I was having to confront in my world. And he gave me a sense of grace, dignity, elegance, and power, and a sense of being somebody that I didn't have.